Hi guys, it's ALCHEMY. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Today I am here to talk to you about Amouage Portrayal Woman. I've not done an Amouage review for quite some time, so it feels like right about the right time to do one. I don't know. I've got quite a few 10ml sprayers of Amouage, and recently I just grabbed this one and thought, I'm going to wear an Amouage a few times and see what happens, and this is the result. So this fragrance came out in 2019, and in 2019 the whole company was actually under a different creative director, a guy called Christopher Chong, and at the time they would always release a duo and they would be called Something Man, Something Woman. Since then we have a new creative director. His name is Renaud Samon, and he's really cool, and he's stripped that away. They just released two fragrances without the man and woman bit, which makes me kind of happy. They still have the same shaped bottles for each because the men and women's bottles are differently shaped, so you can differentiate them, but they've just taken away the title, which for me is A+. Yay for that. This fragrance was created by Annick Menardo. She is a really famous perfumer. She works mainly with designer brands, but she does dabble with niche brands as well. Some of her most famous perfumes, I would say, would be Hypnose by Lancôme. She also made Lolita Lempicka, and then the real big bad boy is Hypnotic Poison for Christian Dior. So she knows what she's doing, okay? She's very established. Anyway, she worked with Amouage on this one, and I've been wearing it for the last 3 days. So here is my take on what it smells like, but before that I'll give you the notes. It's one of the most simple note lists that I've seen in an Amouage fragrance, which makes for quite a simple review. So the top note of this fragrance is jasmine. The heart notes are vanilla and tobacco. It's actually something called Craven, which is a tobacco accord. That to me is slightly disappointing because at Amouage prices, I would expect maybe tobacco absolute, if that's a possible thing, I don't know. And the base note is ALCHEMY. ALCHEMY, if you don't know what it is, it's a resin. It is on the lighter side of a resinous smell though. We're not talking about myrrh or labdanum or anything like that. ALCHEMY is actually a kind of citrusy, coniferous, pine-like, and to me, a little bit spicy resin. Somewhere in there is a tuberose as well. I see it listed in some places and I don't see it listed in others. I don't see it. You can't not see something. I don't see it. Anyway, you get what I mean. There's definitely a tuberose in there. Anyway, how does it smell? So I put this on. I'm going to do the longevity bit first. The first 2 times that I tried this, it was more about dissecting it and figuring out what it is. And this today was the full longevity test. I put this on at, I think, 9:30 this morning. It's now 9 o'clock at night, and there's definitely still a whiff of it here, so plus point. Just while I'm spraying this on my hand, I was going to tell you guys about the story of Portrayal. I will say, with Amouage, as much as I love them, I am a self-confessed fanboy of Amouage perfumes. I really like them. The stories often get lost on me, more so the connection of what the story's telling you in relation to why those notes are in there. It's about change and being bold and not conforming. What we have really is a quite sweet white floral, so let me just get into that now. Okay. When I first put this on, my impressions were not the best. I will say that. My first impression of this was, oh gosh, we have another overly sweet, sugary tuberose perfume, and we already have that with Love Tuberose by Amouage, as well as many other perfumes on the market. There is such an abundance of these vanillic white floral perfumes that I personally have been gotten a bit of tired of them over the last 3 or 4 years. So I gave it some time, of course, because I'm a fan of the brand and I want to delve a bit deeper, and I gave it some time and my opinion did change a little bit. So when you first spray this, thank God for jasmine. That's all I can say. Thank you, God, for jasmine. If jasmine wasn't present in this perfume, this would be exactly what I've just described that I really don't like. Yes, a lot of you might like that as well, but there are so many that it does get a little bit tiresome. Anyway, the tuberose and jasmine in this perfume work perfectly in tandem. The jasmine kind of cuts through the tuberose and the vanilla, and gives the fragrance enough sharpness to make it not so cloying, which is what I'm grateful for. Personally, not a lover of very sweet things. If you are, you will probably love this. I immediately thought that I was smelling tuberose with nothing else, but upon more wearings, it is a two-horse race of jasmine and tuberose, and then there is vanilla immediately behind. I sometimes, it's not listed as a note, but I also feel in this perfume, it almost feels like it's dusted with white pepper. Take jasmine and tuberose petals, soak them in vanilla, and then sprinkle some white pepper over the top. And I think that ALCHEMY is a part of that. ALCHEMY has a little bit of a spicy feeling to it. Although it's a resin, it doesn't feel super resinous. I know that sounds strange, but it's true. It is, like I said, the lighter side of a resin. The tobacco part is the bit that stumps me a little bit. So there's Craven, right? Which is this tobacco accord. Tobacco in perfume for me can go many different directions. It's not usually something that's super identifiable unless you've smelled a lot of tobacco perfumes. A lot of the times it's an accord, so it's made up of many other things. It can be super smooth, like Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. I've smelled a lot of smooth tobaccos like that before. I've smelled some real harsh kind of Cohiba cigar tobacco cigarettes where you can really feel the leafiness of it, you know, and the woodiness of tobacco. In here, it's really not the main star of the show, and it really, for me, isn't a huge element of the perfume at all. I kind of wish it was more prominent. It would have been an interesting twist, but really this is about the florals, and it's about white florals. So if you like white florals, like me, I do, definitely give it a go. I will say though that I feel like Amouage has a lot more interesting white florals to offer, such as Uber, such as Opus 9, which happens to be my favorite Amouage fragrance, period, and nothing's come close to it yet. This is kind of like Amouage Love Tuberose with just a little bit more pep in its step, a little bit more interesting elements, but it doesn't veer into the huge complexity that Amouage can do and do quite often. I said do. I would say overall, and as much as I love Amouage, you know I love you guys, I'm a fanboy, I would say that this one I personally can take or leave. If you like that sort of very Oman, Middle Eastern complexity that Amouage are very able to deliver, this one's a super tame offering from the company. The bottle is stunning though. I've seen it in person. I don't own the bottle, I actually own a 10ml. It's right here. I didn't even show you it, did I? Yeah, this is my Portrayal 10ml. I've already used quite a lot of it. So yeah, it's for me, it's better than Amouage Tuberose Love or Love Tuberose because you have the added element of jasmine, and jasmine really is what makes this fragrance bearable. For me, it's very sweet. The vanilla is there forever. The vanilla is what I can smell right now on my wrist all of these hours later. And I can still smell a tiny bit of jasmine. I said smell and feel at the same time and it came out as smell. I can still smell the jasmine. I can. I would usually say at this point that this would be a good gateway into Amouage fragrances, but I can't say that because this feels kind of like a commercial perfume with just a tiny spark of niche in it. For me, it doesn't really feel luxury. For me, it feels like it's made by Annick Menardo, who is very good at making designer level perfumes. And this is not me being a snob. I am definitely not doing that because she's made some great perfumes, seriously. I just think the bar for me for Amouage is set very high, and you can find this in other brands. So it's just managing my own expectations, I guess. That is my own opinion of this fragrance. I hope you guys like this video. I am ALCHEMY, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.